Right, today on Adulting, this has never been done before. It is our first time having an 18-year-old as our adulting guest. Normally, it's like 20 chakuti and above, and then we talk about, life issues. But here's an 18-year-old who is like, guys, I'm a man. I'm a man. Okay, we're going to hear about that. His name is Ryan Takudzwa Matsika. He's 18 years old and a student from Harare in Zimbabwe. He'll let us know which school he was at.
Bradford.
Which school?
It's Bradford Senior School.
Bradford Senior School.
Yeah.
Are you done now?
No, I'm still school.
Lower six?
Yeah, doing lower six.
Okay, great. He has a passion for business and public speaking and has already achieved great success in the field of debate. God help me today. He's determined to become a serial entrepreneur and is also interested in pursuing a career in politics. Really?
Yeah, I love politics. I do love politics.
Yes, so. Okay, he believes that his innovative thinking, communication skills, and dedication will help him to achieve his goals. His experience in debates have given him the confidence and knowledge he needs to succeed. In addition to his other pursuits, Ryan is also the founder of One Voice TV, a youth platform dedicated to empowering young people. Ryan has been part of renowned gospel music groups where he has exercised his gifts as a singer. In his free time, Ryan enjoys playing golf, which he finds to be a relaxing and enjoyable hobby. Come on. He also enjoys spending time with his friends and family and exploring new places. With his passion, drive, and commitment, Ryan Takudzwa Matsika is sure to achieve great things in his future. Ryan.
Yeah.
Your profile.
Yes.
It's bigger than most grown people. Welcome to Capitol.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, but Ryan is not alone. He's with a young lady named Stephanie Mahala. Stephanie, let's hear your voice, girl.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, hello, everyone. For those of you who are watching on Facebook, you can see how gorgeous that smile is. Like, wow. I am so jealous at this point. Like, can we share the smile? Like, just bring it this side a little bit. Oh my, you're so gorgeous.
Thank you.
All right, focus, Becky, focus. All right, we want to get into our interview today, and we are speaking about adulting, and the topic is making moves. Yeah. Ryan, you are 18. Stephanie, how old are you?
19.
19. So you guys are like at that benchmark, that line.
At that awkward stage in our lives?
Yes, at that awkward stage in your lives where you're like, I'm young, but I'm grown. Mm-hmm. I'm grown, but I'm young. You want to still be treated like a child, but at the same time, like you don't want to be treated like a child. Mm-hmm. And this is where the whole adulting aspect of things starts. Yeah. So I'll start with you, Ryan. Yeah. Do you feel like you are a young man or you're a man?
Well, I feel like I'm a young man.
Feel like a young man. Yeah. Okay, explain to us the processes of being a young man.
In my vocabulary, talking about being a young man, right? It comes out with so much, which sometimes when you fail to embrace, you might end up thinking that you're a man, yet you're not. So being a young man, it is whereby you're being groomed, right? You're in a grooming stage where you are trying to be a man enough, mm-hmm. yet you are still not a man. So ooh. Yeah, so in being a young man, that is when we start to get to things like you start to unlearn some of the things that you were taught when you're still young by probably parents or the society. Mm-hmm. And that is also the time that you start to align yourself into who you really want to be.
So when society has now like formed this narrative of what a young man is,
yeah.
Do you take time by yourself to sit down and say, I think this is what I want to do?
Yeah, exactly. It comes back to, like I said, the way you want yourself to be. Mm-hmm. Because one of the things that we face is we are having the society that brings out what they want within us. Mm-hmm. Yet sometimes you embrace things that are not even suiting what they really want from you. Yeah. It's just like a parent who is expecting much from a child. Like they're saying, do this, do this.
There's always that conflict.
Exactly. They're like, this is what you're supposed to be doing. Yet you feel like, no, this is not my thing. You're just forcing me. Probably just because I have a brother or they saw it next to do. Mm-hmm. Right? That maybe someone's son or someone's daughter is doing this, so you're also supposed to pursue it. I think it's an African trauma or syndrome that is with our parents sometimes, that they say this, do it, and then.
Don't you ever think, okay, I get exactly what you're saying,
Yeah.
but do you ever sit down to think and say, maybe they have some form of direction, they've seen life way ahead of you, and Ryan,
I'm not trying to conflict with them, right? I'm not trying to conflict, but the thing is, they should also create a platform where they listen to us and not forging things like do this.
Yeah.
So they should also like give you a free platform just to see how well you do it.
Great. I'll take you on that point with the subject that you're doing right now in lower six. Are you doing subject that you wanted, or are you doing subject that your parents wanted you to do?
Well, on this one now, it's my thing. So thank you to my parents. A big shout out to them because this is my thing. I was like, you know what? I want my combination to be business, economics, and accounting. And then they're like, oh, okay, fine, go do it.
And they didn't like fight you with it
because I had the same problem when I was in Form 4, when I was doing sciences. Yet I'm being born, I was never a science person.
Oh, you were not a science
exactly
person.
So because you're having good grades, they'll be like,
you can
exactly do the sciences. Just because someone else is being a doctor, they're doing well and whatever, they also want you to be a doctor.
It was just that you were good in school,
exactly,
but with no passion
for sciences. Honestly, even my friends from school, they know it. I'll be like, guys, do that. Don't go for the lessons. I would bank and go for accounting lessons.
Yeah, sure.
Go for exactly. That's what I would do. And yeah,
it's on radio now. It's on radio now.
For the whole world.
For the whole world. Yeah. For the whole world. But I think you were actually just showing them exactly where your passions lie and what you wanted to do.
Exactly.
To do with your life. Yeah. So as an 18-year-old, there's a lot of things that are required from men that you have seen in society. What are some of the things that scare you as you are thinking about, I'm going to be 19, then 20, then very soon I'm going to be told,
exactly,
and all of that. What are some of the things that scare you?
Personally, I would say that the pressure of being an adult. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, and
What are you not looking forward to?
Basically, I'm not looking forward to having a life of pressure. Yeah, honestly.
Stephanie, she's like, dude.
What? So in as much as I want to have a lot of things in my life, I want to establish them at a very young age, so that I have time to relax. I don't want to be all out, chasing things, doing a whole lot of things at the same time, and also being probably I'm gonna be a family. I'm gonna be a family.
You're gonna be a family
exactly.
Man. You see yourself as a family man.
Yeah. You know what? I feel so much sentimental when it comes to family.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I just love being part of family. I love maybe being a father, taking my children out.
You see all of that.
I see that.
You are 18.
Yeah,
I remember when. Okay, I don't remember when I was 18 thinking like that, but I remember when I was 15. I would say I cannot wait until I'm 30.
Wow.
Right. And I painted this life for myself.
Wow.
That when I am 30, I am going to be this. And I didn't realize that for me to be that person when I get 30, I had to put in the work. In that process. I just thought I'll be 30 and bam,
but then
these things are going to happen.
I'm actually not looking forward to growing up so fast, so quickly. I don't want that. I feel like there's still a lot that I should do at my young age.
But the responsibility of growing up is still on you.
Yeah, that's one thing that scares me, honestly, the most. It really scares me the most. That's one thing. Of all the things, growing up,
Yeah. Yeah. All right. You came with Stephanie. So Stephanie, I'm gonna just come to you. You are a 19-year-old young lady. Kudara baby. Now told him cards were so.
Hey, serious. Hey. That one's my too.
Hey, my too. Well, maybe not my too.
My Jew.
My Jew. Only 19 so, right? There's people who are listening right now and they were married at your age. and they were running homes already. That responsibility of a woman was already put on them at the age of 19. What is Stephanie's life like right now at the age of 19? What is Stephanie doing?
Stephanie is still trying to figure herself out and know what she likes, what she doesn't like. And I feel like when you are 19, this is an awkward time in your life where you're in between. You know that thing whereby they're like teenagers lash out for no reason and whatnot. It's because we're trying to understand our emotions, we're trying to understand our bodies and all of that. So there's still a lot of work that I need to put in so that I can achieve what I want to. Honestly, I see myself, in high places in the future. So I'm trying to build that right now so that I don't look back at this time and be like, but Pepe and Daite, I could have done this so that I reached this. And that maybe 10-year plan that I have, at least if I achieve kind of 5 things, it will make sense. So this is the time to set that foundation.
Right. And how well are you doing in setting this foundation?
I'm doing well. I released my book this year.
No.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
No.
I'm telling you.
Look at you.
Yeah.
What's the book called and what is it about?
It's called Everness. It's about mafias.
Yeah.
Naiwe, Stefan.
The book is lit.
The book is
mafias.
Mafia, Ariko, you just don't know about this.
I was like, let me enlighten you.
Let me enlighten you.
Yeah.
Okay, so is it a fiction book?
Yes, it's a fiction book, but I filled my emotions and everything into these characters.
Right.
So some of the things that I was going through but couldn't talk about, I put into this book in a fictional way.
Right.
So I'm just hoping that it can inspire someone, and it really shows how no man is an island, and you need all of these people to support you as you journey through life. Yeah.
And when will this book be ready?
Oh, it's done.
Like it's printed and
It's
everything.
printed.
The
It's
book
in
was launched.
bookshops. It's in
launched.
It's in bookshops.
Yes.
Okay, you're gonna write it down for me so I can have the title and everything, and I'll let the listeners know also, and we'll go and get the book so we can have something to read.
Thank you.
Before we go to bed.
I always knew I liked you.
I know, girl.
Yes.
I know.
How can I not?
How can you not? Back to being 19 and growing up. With the statement I said that back in the day, a 19-year-old would have been married off at this point. Once at Opeza, lower 6, upper, you'd be lucky if she had done lower 6 and upper 6. Most of the time it was at Opeza form 4, back to Mchagira, someone to marry and everything. And this hasn't happened to you. To the young girls that are listening now, or to the parents who've got young girls that are listening now, who don't know what to do with their daughters, because you are someone's daughter. How would you, not really advise, but encourage a way forward on how a young woman should be raised?
All right. So obviously, as times go, times are changing, and there's all of these new parenting styles coming in and everything. But there's one thing my mom usually says: there's nothing new under the sun. So you can incorporate let's call it the old regime and the new times, and allow your kids to branch out, allow them to find themselves, to find what they like, what they dislike, what they want to be. Give them the room to do that, because sometimes people don't reach their full potential because they are stifled, like what Ryan was saying. Luckily for him, his parents allowed him to pick the subjects he wanted to do and to venture into fields that he wants to be in. Now imagine if he had been forced to do these sciences, he wouldn't have been able to have this foundation for youths. He wouldn't be able to, come here, talk and everything, because his creativity would have been stifled so much. So the moment you allow your kids to be themselves, to express themselves, obviously, there are some things that are questionable in this generation, let's not lie.
Yes,
but
we are getting to those, don't worry. We're getting to those questionable things.
Still in the confines of your morals and all of that. I think, we will reach greater heights and actually become...
So parents shouldn't stifle.
No.
Long short of it.
No.
Don't stifle. Speak to your child.
Yes, it should
find
be
out what
two-way
they want to do,
Yes.
and then find a balance there.
Exactly.
All right. So coming back to the questionable things, Ryan, young people are going through the most in the search of growing up, or in the search of crossing over to being an adult. In some cultures, 18 years old, we are traveling. Garapamba, you take care of the house and all. 19 years old, I told you, are probably somebody's wife somewhere. There's a 19-year-old right now who is somebody's wife and probably pregnant with the second child or pregnant with the first child, but they've already been forced to grow into that adulthood part of things with the questionable things that young people do, where parents end up stifling them and saying, you don't know what you're doing. It's because we are in the era of AMA 2000.
Exactly.
And I don't think it's even Gen Z. I think it's Gen X. I don't know. I don't know what I don't know what to call it.
You don't know.
No, because you guys are like so detached. There's no feeling that is poured into the things that they do in and out of relationships, young as they are. You'll find a young girl, 3-4 boyfriends, and you're thinking, what are you doing?
What's up?
Yes, and then there's the whole vaping, there's the whole shisha thing,
exactly.
and then there's the sex, drugs, and alcohol aspect of things. So parents are now scared that, okay, yes, there's Ryan who's a good boy, yes, there's Stephanie who's the good girl, but I can't trust Ryan. What if he's putting up a facade for me, and then for them to take my child, and then they go and they do the stuff that they do? What should parents be looking out for with these questionable things before they can allow their children the freedom to choose?
Okay, fine. Thank you for that. So first thing that I would say is that I remember my mother was so deliberate about it. Was my friends, right? So one thing that my mom would do is should go like, okay, who are your friends these days? I'm like, there's so and so. Exactly. Then yeah, but then I was young, yeah.
All right.
And then they would go like, okay, fine, we want to see them. Right. The seeing part now. So if something within them, like enough, I was raised in a Christian family. Yeah. So like enough and fair enough, if they see someone whom they doubt, they'd be like, would want to see you so and so. So now back in my mind I'll be like, but then what's up? These are like, you know how our parents wanted us to be like, go to church, pray.
Yes,
we
want children like that.
Yes, yeah, that's the thing, right?
Yes.
But then in our current generation, I would say that it's something that is not cool at all.
What, for parents to be involved?
No, like in our generation,
growing up proper.
Exactly, for you. No, not growing up properly. No,
but going to church.
Exactly, like being someone.
Cool.
Wait, being someone who talks about Jesus like all the time in school. Like you're just there talking about Jesus. You
won't be cool. Ryan, you have me standing.
I'm explaining.
Okay,
right?
so how can we make Jesus cool?
Wait, I'm explaining.
Okay, go there.
Yeah,
Ooh, I'm hot and bothered now.
I'm coming from a point where I'm in the world right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I have friends whom I've listened to, who are actually in the world, and fair enough for me, I'm in church, so sometimes you don't give a blind eye to these people when they come to you or when you're friending each other in school, because these are the talks that are happening. And sometimes when you get home, that you wouldn't be talking about them, but then we know we are the ones who spend time in school, right? And these things are real. Someone be like, you know what, guys, this whole thing, what? I just wanna maybe like verb, like what you've been saying, or let's go for the wild parties. You just lie to your parents and be like, we're going for this and this and this, something like this, right? Exactly. So the first thing that I would say is friends. Number one are the influential people around us, because in as much as you have your goals, you have everything, the people that you spend most of your time with, they feed in your mind,
right? And
what then happens is even if your inner man is trying to fight, what has been already deposited in your soul or what you've been hearing, exactly. So at the end of the day, that is when let me just bring a scripture in the Bible.
Bring it. Yes. Oh, finally. I was like, Ryan, you will not leave this studio today.
Okay. Right. You know what? Paul was like, you know what? Things that I'm supposed to be doing, I find myself not doing them. And those of which I'm not supposed to be doing are the things that I'm doing. So you realize that because of whatever that you have been hearing, all the sort of toxicity that has been getting in your soul, getting in your mind, then the inner man sometimes loses. Then what? The power now to have the external part to block you off. That's when you get into probably a fiesta or a wild party or a pool party. But then you're like, okay, I'm here just because my friend who said let's go. She probably came with the car and then she's like, let's go. Then I'm there now and I'm like, but then what am I really doing here? Like, something like that. So the first thing is parents should really take care of their children's friends.
Okay, so be involved
exactly
in who your child
plays with.
Is befriending.
Exactly.
All right, just hold that thought. 19 minutes to 2 o'clock. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue with Ryan and Stephanie. Ryan had me standing on my feet when he said, it's not cool.
It is actually. Wow.
We talk 100.4
Right, we'll go back after the
Caribbean Splash.
Yeah, but what you're saying is so true. The moment you talk about Jesus, it's like, oh,
what is this sneaker?
this one. These church people. Yeah, but I'm staying away from them. It's hard, guys.
Yeah.
Because which teenager doesn't want to go to fiesta? And I told that
You want
but
to?
and I should go to no, so it's and my mom will be there at the gate by fiesta. I promise you, when I was young, my mom would drop me off at parties. She would drop me off at 6 o'clock and pick me up at 9 o'clock. And up at 9 o'clock, that's when the party is starting.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, that's so true.
The party is starting. So at times we'll sneak away from the party and go to a club. Then one time, Tagainda club, a fight broke out. I was there crawling on the floor, trying to come out, and made my way back to that party because I knew she was coming to pick me up. Like I was like 9:30. I was in the back. I never did it again. This life.
muchero nemiriwo nemvura yakachena inochururuka musakwazisane nemaoko panzvimbo dzine veruzhinji zvikuru panguva iri kunetsa korera. Mariro ese ekorera anofanira kutunamirwa nevana mazvikokota veutano. Chengetai mvura muzvigubhu kana migomo yakachena uye inovharika. Rasirai marara munzvimbo dzinokurudzirwa neveutano. Kana uchifungidzira kuti wave nekorera, enda kuchipatara chiri pedyo newe nekuchimbidzika kana kuridza nhare pabazi rezveutano pa2019. Kana uchifungidzira kuti munharaunda menyu mava nekorera, zivisai veutano kuchipatara chiri pedyo nemi kana kuridza nhare dzezveutano.
My dentist just sent me a message that I'm due for a dental checkup, but he's a scary dentist who sold. Alright, stand by.
It's The Pulse with Becky K on Capital 100.4 FM.
Adulting.
Right, 16 minutes to 2 o'clock. You can send through your questions, your comments, all your contributions. We are speaking to Ryan T. Matsika, who is an 18-year-old doing the most. He's making moves. And he came along with Stephanie Mahala, who is assisting him to make the moves. Well, we're still yet to know what moves they are doing together here. But so far we've just covered, ground on what it means to them growing up and getting into this whole adulting aspect of things. What I've caught from you guys so far is that you are at a point where you are saying to parents, allow us to take responsibility for some of our actions. And when we have done something wrong, we are okay. We'll take that responsibility, we'll take the accountability, and we can be corrected. Can you imagine living a life without mistakes?
It won't work. It won't.
Can you, that whole stifling that you were talking about, that parents stifle their kids and cage.
Yeah.
No, the child needs to make a couple of mistakes so that they can know and learn about what is happening outside there. That way they will know what is wrong and what is right. While we were off air, I was telling you a story about how my mom, rest her soul, I was between the ages of 16 to 19, right? No, she was very much involved with the friends that I would have in my life. But I remember it was lower 6, upper 6 time, 18. I would go for parties.
Yeah.
And she would drop me off at 6 o'clock. And then she would say 9 o'clock, I'm going to pick you up. And I'd be like, but 9 o'clock, that is when the party is. It's booming, right? But she, and I remember I would ask her, why would you allow me to go? She says, I believe that the things I have taught you, you put them to good use. You won't go to that party and embarrass me. So if people are smoking, I know you will not smoke. If people are drinking, I know you won't be drinking. I tasted alcohol, I think, for the first time in my life. It was after upper six holiday. Tatopedza chikoro baibo tapedza aiwa. Apa results abuda tapasa ball. We went out with my friends in Bulawayo, and then they bought this thing, it was Hunter's Gold. I remember it was a Hunter's Gold, but it was in a can. Right? And it tasted like some cherry plum juice, or it was like a juice. Hey, I drank and drank and drank, and I wasn't getting drunk. And I was like, Saka, what's the fuss? I was like, what's the fuss about this alcohol? And then I stood up, and then it was game over. And I'm thinking, now I have to go home. How am I going to go home when I'm like this? Guys, I've never been so sober in my life. Thinking about what my mom was going to do to me when I got home. I drank so much water. I was dancing. I was very active trying to get it out of my system. I tried everything. And this is what scares parents. My mom wasn't there when I was experimenting. But she trusted that the thing she instilled in me, I was going to put to practice. But sometimes we just do. How are you guys fighting the urge to be around that company? Because the word does say bad company corrupts good morals. So you might have good morals, but just like you said, Ryan, you can be surrounded by kids who are doing this stuff on a daily basis, and for them it's okay. How are you fighting it? How are you staying above and saying, I am going to do this adulting thing to the best of my ability?
Well, for me, it's actually amazing, right? It's amazing because it's very funny how I set up myself. Because I'll be like, if I say I want to do this, that's what I do. Even my parents know it. So even if I want to like have something going on, I do it. I like my friends. Why? Because I have friends who occasionally drink beer. But you know what? There's one thing that I liked about this other friend of mine this other time. He drinks, and then he was like, but then you know what? In fact, there were other friends. So the time when it then came to me, like it was somewhere when this thing now came to me, like the what do you call this? The beer, the alcohol. This other friend was like, you've forgotten. This one doesn't take these things. I'm like, wow, yeah. Now you know, guys. Even if it's
to the extent that your friends,
they know it. Like if even if it's cigarettes or whatever. Because
in my circle they say, I'm a grocer.
so what it's one thing that I've just realized within my friends. That we have where we meet. Right, we have aspects where we are okay. Then when it comes to the alcohol part, Ryan is off the league. If it's debate, public speaking, it's a school, whatever, we are there. We are. Yes. So when it comes to this, I don't know. This one I'm saying.
All right, let's talk about One Voice TV. What's that about?
One Voice TV is a youth empowerment platform that came about in 2020.
Why did you start it? You are 18, Ryan, and if you are saying you started in that's 3 years ago.
16.
That's 3 years ago. You started this thing, and at 16 you're already like, I need to do something. What did you see that made you say I need to do something?
Well, it was that time of life where we were during lockdown. There was COVID going on and all that. So I happened to be part of a Zimpri's Kids Choir, and being part of the Zimpri's Kids Choir, I remember what our leader would say. She was like, you know what, guys, let's get busy with some stuff. Get to know yourself. Get to have times where you introspect, where you check yourself, what's within you, and then master that. So within that moment, instead of going to the lounge and fighting with my siblings for remote, I was like, it's fine. Let me just sit down and then relax and think of what I really should be doing right now. Because there was no school. There was no school. So I talked to some of my friends from school, and I'm like, guys, you know what? I'm thinking of doing this. Like I started with a YouTube channel.
Right.
I'm like, I want to do a YouTube channel. And then there's also this lady from our church who was inspiring me with the podcast that she was putting on your status. Like, these things are so nice. Let me do that. So, and now coming back to this now, I started doing it. At first, it was more like something that was useless and meaningless because I would take my phone instead start to record myself. On YouTube, the videos are there, right, Matsika? Right.
Right.
Yeah, and the videos they actually work. Even now, if I
If
look
you
at
look
them,
at it, like, what was I doing? But you did something.
exactly. So,
But you did
so the
something.
moment, so the videos, then I would have friends who were like, "Hey, you're making moves, bro! Wow!" And I'm like, "Okay, fine. Let me continue." So I just continued, up to the moment we got to Form 4 now. So when it got to during the lockdown, I started YouTube, then went to Facebook, went to Instagram. We all have pages there. Then some of my friends were like, let's get into in an engaging way where we now have this thing on WhatsApp where we have different people joining the group and they come in and then we engage and we talking. And then I'm like, okay, fine, fair enough, let's do it. Then we opened the group, started off with about 30 people. Then it grew up to 120, 200, 250.
Wonderful.
Then the group was full, and then we opened another group, which was the second group. So we have sessions on Tuesdays and Thursday, from 2 p.m. to around 4. And I'll take people from church. I'll take people from around whom I knew that they could be talking and make a positive impact to the lives of the young people. So I was just saying, this is the vision that I have, and God has given me this thing. Now, let me now take it into practice. So because I understood that I wasn't yet fully grown or well versed in the field of getting to inspire people, motivate people at my young age, is just a Form 2, a Form 3. So I got to invite people to come, and then they would buy the idea, and they were like, "Oh, fine, right? This is nice. So fast forward, we did the discussions online.
Right.
Then I started school. School then resumed somewhere in Form 3. And when school resumed now, I started having these things on Friday, which was at night from 6 to 7. And then pressure then started to get more intense. And I went to Saturday, and that's when we started having these sessions on Saturday. And now when I was in Form 4, the pressure was now even more worse. And I'm like, okay, fine, let me just focus on the books, because these parents are like, if you continue with this one voice thing, you are fully destined to failure.
Oh my God.
I know that.
I'm going to call your mother's voice. Ryan,
the tone changed. And I'm like, okay, fine.
you know these kids.
Yes. And I'm like, okay, fine.
What I do? And I promise you, your mom probably doesn't sound like that. She probably doesn't sound like that.
And I'm like, okay, fine. Okay,
I said,
fine.
you are destined for it. And you know, as parents, we say those things.
Exactly.
How do you feel? How do you feel when you hear this? You're like, this is my mother.
It's
Someone gave birth to me. And
exactly.
She's saying, you're going to be a destined.
It's honestly, it's very sentimental. It gets to the heart. Like
It
you'd be
does.
like,
And does it break you? Or you like, I understand what she's saying. Let me put my house in order.
exactly. That's what I do. That's the person that I am. If you tell me that you're doing this, and I'm like, okay, fine. Let me just probably reduce the volume. Or sometimes I don't tell you what's going on.
Oh.
Because
Hey, you brought up a serious thing there. Because as parents, we think, because I've got a 16-year-old, a 13-year-old, 10-year-old, and
Yeah.
a 3-year-old.
wow.
With the older ones, the 16, 13, or soon to be 14, and 10-year-old, I've discovered that when I shout, they close up. They will put themselves in order.
Yeah.
But they will stop like sharing stuff. Like they stop sharing. And then when I'm too nice, I feel like I'm not your friend. I'm not your friend. I don't want to be too nice. So what would be better
I feel like
or workable? I don't think there's anything better. Workable.
there's always a need for that aggressive voice sometimes, because if you continue telling me, don't do this, it's not nice, I'll be like, okay, fine, it's okay. But then when you come to me, then you're like, I don't want you to do this.
Is that your dad's voice
Does it? I'll be like, yeah, okay, it's fine. See,
Right.
I'm sorry. I'll even start shivering. I'm like, okay, say I'm sorry.
now? Okay, so instill fear
Exactly.
at some point in their life.
Exactly.
And you, Stephanie, are you the instill fear kind of girl? Like if someone comes and instills fear, your mom, your dad, if they come and they instill fear in you, Are you making moves, or you're now like, I'm stuck now, I don't even know what I'm doing?
You know what? I'm making moves, but quietly. You know what? I'm going to prove you wrong. Like, sometimes who our parents think we are, and who we actually are completely different things.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like as parents, you guys say certain things in anger to the point where it can get to me more than the nice things that you say.
Yeah.
For example, if I'm used to coming to you with all of my wahala, like, so the one day where you're like, your nonsense, now the next time I want to come and tell you something, I hit pause because I'm like, wait, I don't know where they're going to respond in the, Steffi, or hey, what are you doing? So you should give us a platform whereby we can talk to you about things, and obviously if we're wrong, we come to you, we tell you, Papa and I did this.
Okay.
Then you tell me, Steph, but then you help me navigate a way forward, right? To the point where when I'm genuinely going through some things, the reason why we become depressed and whatnot is because sometimes you don't have people to talk to. We can be in a house full of, 10 siblings, both your parents are present, but you can't talk to anyone because it feels like you're just being judged all the time.
Yeah.
Or, you're going to lash out, you're going to get angry. Yes, sure, some things we do things that don't make sense, and that's fine. But
We're
allow
kids.
us. Yes, we are kids. But
And this is what I was asking. You say you're kids, but you want to be treated like adults. You want to be treated like I'm growing and someone I'm leaking. And then when you're treated like I'm leaking, it's like,
It varies actually.
there's one thing you said whereby they instill certain things in us, right? After you've done that, you are telling us, don't do this, this is bad, this is bad. Now allow us the freedom to be able to find ourselves, but with the morals that you instilled in us.
okay, allow me to find myself with the morals that you instilled in us.
Yes.
There's a question here that says, what would give a parent a wrong impression of who their child is?
Besides friends, you see certain things. Okay, I'm active on TikTok, right?
Right.
And I used to, during exam season, I'd be posting and whatnot. Now, as a parent, you don't see me studying, but you see these videos I'm posting, right? And you're like, manangu, you're not getting the full picture.
Is TikTok. All right, we've got 2 minutes left to round this up. There's something that's happening in December because of this initiative, this One Voice initiative, that has grown since 2020. And you've had these functions for how long now?
We had our first upliftment festival last year,
and this is like the first one from the WhatsApp group.
Exactly.
And then you brought it into the physical.
Exactly.
Well done.
Yeah,
Well
thank
done.
you.
All right. So what happens and when is it going to be held?
It's this time around we're having it in Grindon North, and the charge is obviously $20. We are extending our invitation to all the young people who want to join through, and we have an esteemed lineup of panelists who will be there talking different issues, talking about grooming and etiquette, personal branding, about how you take care of yourself and all that. We have Miss Becky K, we have Amsi Tate, we have Auntie Hazanari, and we also have an esteemed panel for the young people who are going to be talking different things as well they get time to get moderated and just to empower. The whole thing about One Voice is to empower the young person. Let your voice be heard, and we're trying to bring you out into the physical world and bloom.
Love it. And so that was Ryan Matsika and Stephanie Mahala coming through. They are together with One Voice Foundation. Do you?
Yes.
Is it One Voice Foundation or One Voice TV?
It's One Voice TV.
One Voice
Yes,
TV.
thank you.
And they are having an event. When can we find information about this event?
On my number, which is 0778851519, or you can look for me on Instagram where I am Ryan.
Instagram, I am Ryan.
Yeah, I'm Ryan.mm.
Okay, .mm. I am Ryan.mm.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming through, Ryan and Stephanie. It is exactly 2:00 and it's time for the news.